Have you ever felt that icy shiver in the middle of the night, when everything seems just a little too quiet? Sometimes, it isn't just the wind or the darkness that frightens us, but the strange sensation that something invisible is watching your every move. Ancient stories say those shadows may not be figments of imagination, but signs of presences that have followed humanity since time immemorial. Creatures that walk the line between legend and reality, leaving behind marks that no one has ever been able to explain. And what if I told you that some of them are capable of draining the blood of entire animals, appearing as blazing flames in the sky, or even stealing your most intimate dreams? Monsters with powers so terrifying they defy both logic and science. From the dreaded chupacabra to the immortal phoenix, and even the Oni demons of Japan, every culture has carried within it beings that reveal its deepest fears and mysteries. And believe me, the deeper we investigate, the more terrifying everything becomes. Today, we're going to dive headfirst into the darkest side of human history. We'll journey across centuries of myths, symbols, and apparitions that still echo to this very day. From the heart of Egypt to the temples of Japan, from the forests of Mexico to the rooftops of Europe's Gothic cathedrals, these creatures are still watching us. Get ready, because some of these stories might not only haunt your imagination, but also your nights of sleep. The very name sends chills down the spine, the Chupacabra Tzcotzuk. The first reports came in 1995, in Puerto Rico, when farmers found their animals dead, drained completely of blood. But what terrified them wasn't just the carcasses, it was the perfect puncture marks on the animals' necks. Locals swore this couldn't be the work of any ordinary predator. Soon, the reports spread like wildfire. Mexico, the United States, the whole of Latin America. Descriptions varied. Some claimed it was a small, dog-like creature. Others described it as tall as a man. Gray, scaly skin, glowing red eyes piercing through the darkness, sharp spines running down its back. And the way it moved? It leapt like a kangaroo, too fast for anyone to capture. Scientists dismissed it as myth, suggesting they were simply mangy coyotes. But the strange tracks, eerie night sounds, and fear among farmers tell another story. To this day, photos and videos circulate online, splitting opinions between hoax and truth. The question remains, is the chupacabra just a modern legend or a real creature still lurking in the shadows? On the opposite side of darkness comes a creature that represents not death, but rebirth, the legendary phoenix. As far back as ancient Egypt, over 4,500 years ago, there were tales of a blazing bird called Bennu, a symbol of the eternal cycle of life. Its gift? To rise again from its own ashes every 500 years. A spectacle of fire, destruction, and glory. Stories claimed its tears could heal incurable wounds, and its feathers brought longevity. Rumors of fiery birds streaking across the skies spread around the world. Even in modern times, reports have surfaced an image of a burning bird over Arizona, a glowing red vision above Brazilian forests. Illusions? Maybe, but the flame of the phoenix has never gone out. Today, it lives on in books, crests, films, and games. From Harry Potter to Fantastic Beasts, from ancient myths to modern symbols, the phoenix became universal, a reminder that even when all seems lost, we too can rise from the ashes stronger than before. Have you ever faced a riddle so impossible it seemed unsolvable? For the ancients, that challenge had to face the Sphinx. In Egypt, it was a sacred guardian, a lion with a human head, protector of royal tombs. The most famous of all, the Great Sphinx of Giza, has sat motionless for over 4,000 years, staring at the horizon as if guarding secrets no one has ever unlocked. But for the Greeks, the Sphinx was no guardia, and it was a killer. It appeared to travelers with a deadly riddle: answer wrong, and you were devoured on the spot. With the body of a lion, wings of an eagle, and the face of a woman, the Sphinx became a symbol of mystery and impossible trials. Its riddle still echoes across centuries as a reminder that every form of knowledge has its price. And if the Sphinx existed today, perhaps not in deserts or temples, but in modern cities, watching from the tops of skyscrapers, its challenge wouldn't be physical, but psychological. Because the true power of the Sphinx doesn't lie in its claws, but in its ability to confront us with questions we're never ready to answer. In Japanese folklore, few creatures are as feared as the Oni. Towering, muscular demons with crimson or blue skin, sharp tusks, and massive horns, they look like nightmares given flesh. In some of Japan's earliest texts, like the Neon Shoki, they were described as evil spirits sent from the underworld to punish sinners and torment the living. Over time, Oni evolved into hybrid monsters, part demon, part ogre, part guardian. In Buddhist traditions, they became enforcers of hell, punishing souls who defied spiritual laws. Entire villages believed Oni roamed the mountains, descending at night to terrify travelers and capture lost souls. Even today, Japan keeps the legend alive. During the Setsubun festival, families throw beans while shouting Oni wa Sodo. Demons, get out! And while science denies their existence, their cultural presence is undeniable. They live on in anime, manga, tattoos, and films carrying the same aura of fear and reverence they held centuries ago. Unlike the Oni, the Baku doesn't terrorize, it protects. First described in 14th century Japan, the Baku was said to be a strange hybrid: the head of an elephant, the legs of a tiger, the body of a bear, and the tail of an ox. Other tales depict it as a colossal shadow with glowing eyes, appearing only when we close ours to sleep. According to legend, all you had to do was whisper before bed, "Baku, eat my dream," and it would come, devouring the nightmares that threatened your mind. But there was a darker warning: if the Baku remained hungry, it could also take away your good dreams, leaving only emptiness, silence, and darkness. A guardian, but also a risk. To this day, the Baku appears in temples, carvings, charms, and even toy symbols of protection against unseen evil. Unlike most monsters, it wasn't made to frighten, but to inspire safety. And yet, the idea of a creature that can devour and manipulate dreams leaves a haunting question: how far could it go? Known as the King of Serpents, the basilisk was one of the most feared creatures of the Middle Ages. Legends say it was born from a rooster's egg, incubated by a serpent or a toad. The result? A terrifying hybrid, part snake, sometimes with dragon wings, even traces of a chicken. Its power? To kill anyone with a single glance. Medieval stories claimed entire villages were wiped out by the basilisk. Battling it was almost impossible unless you knew the tricks: a mirror to make it die by its own reflection, or the crow of a rooster to stop its heart. Symbol of death and domination, the basilisk was feared as much as it was revered. And even now, it survives in popular imagination. Found on coats of arms, in local legends, in books and films. The thought of a creature so powerful that one look could end you is perhaps the purest reflection of human fear: that we might be destroyed by something invisible, instant, and inevitable. Have you ever looked up at a Gothic cathedral and felt watched? It might have been a gargoyle. Built over 700 years ago in France to drain rainwater, these grotesque statues soon took on a role beyond architecture. People believed they protected churches and cities from evil spirits. But the legends went further. At night, gargoyles were said to come alive, prowling the streets, hunting demons, guarding sleeping believers. At dawn, they froze again, silent and unmovable, as if nothing had happened. To many, they weren't mere stone but supernatural guardians. Today, they remain etched in our collective imagination. Films, novels, and games all explore the idea of statues that awaken when no one is watching. And maybe that's their real mystery: are they just carved stone or eternal eyes that never stop watching? The creatures we've uncovered today, from the dreaded chupacabra to the immortal phoenix, from the enigmatic sphinx to the gargoyles watching from the heights, are not just distant legends. They are mirrors of our deepest fears, of the mysteries we cannot explain, but which still haunt us generation after generation. Each one, in its own way, reflects what is darkest and most powerful within ourselves. When we look at these stories, we realize they weren't just bedtime tales to scare children. They carry hidden truths, symbols of power, of rebirth, of judgment, of protection. They are codes of humanity that survived the ages, passed down from whispers to ancient texts, from oral traditions to modern films. And even if science insists none of this exists, something within us keeps believing. Maybe it's because, deep down, we crave the mystery. We want to believe there is something more than what the eyes can see. We enjoy that chill down the spine, the racing heartbeat, the mind imagining the impossible. That's what keeps these legends alive, our need to believe in the inexplicable, the invisible, the things that defy logic and slip into imagination. And now, I ask you, what if some of these stories are real? What if, as you watch this video, something is watching you exactly as the ancients once claimed? A shadow nearby, a presence you can't explain, but that refuses to leave. Maybe monsters aren't just stories, maybe they're closer than you think. If this journey into the unknown held you until the end, go ahead and leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next story. Share this video with someone who loves mysteries and dark legends. Because each week, we'll dive even deeper into this hidden universe. And remember, the next legendary creature may be waiting for you in the darkness of the night.